Hey guys, my name is Nora Franch, and welcome to the podcast Grateful Blessed Mess, daily reflections for those in the 12 steps. I am a fellow 12-stepper and certified mindset coach, and I am here to introduce you to the value of mindset coaching in your 12-step journey. So if you feel like you are stuck in the steps, if you're slipping and sliding with your abstinence, mindset coaching may help you as it did me, and you can find me at catholicmindsetcoaching.com. These episodes are meant to invite you in to consider the truths of 12-step wisdom and to join in the very real struggle of living them in action. I hope that it feels almost like a mini meeting, and I invite you to contribute your own share on the Grateful Blessedness Facebook group to keep the discussion going. My comments are based on my own experience, so feel free to take what you like and leave the rest. But my hope is to encourage you on your own daily 12-step journey. As they say, you cannot stay clean on yesterday's shower. So without further ado, let's begin. We are reading from A Day at a Time, January 7th, reflection for the day. I'm beginning to see just how unnatural my old life actually was, and that it became increasingly unnatural as my disease progressed. The longer I'm in recovery, the more natural this new way of life seems. At first, it was impossible for me to extend my hand to a fellow person in recovery. Such an act was wholly unnatural for me. But it is becoming increasingly easier for me to reach out to other people in recovery. Sharing my experience, strength, and hope is becoming a natural part of daily living. Have I learned that I can't keep what I've gotten unless I give it away? Will I take time to share today? Today I pray. May I share love, my joy, happiness, time, my hospitality, my knowledge of things on earth, and my faith in a higher power. Even though I may not see the results of my acts of sharing, may I take joy in the acts themselves. May sharing and connecting with others become as natural to me as speaking or breathing. Today I will remember, be never sparing in caring and sharing. All right, that's awesome. I'm going to start saying that to my kids. Be never sparing in sharing and caring. I just started smiling. I don't know if you could hear it in the way I was talking, but that is the exact way I think about what I'm doing here with you guys. Even though I may not see the results of my acts of sharing, may I take joy in the acts themselves. And that's what this is. I'm not going to end up meeting or hearing from, I'm guessing, most people who listen to this podcast. That's assuming anybody's listening to this podcast. and I'm okay with that. Because I have so much joy in freaking doing these just on their own. Someone was asking me about that today. I was talking with a friend and I was just, it just fills me with joy. I don't know if you can tell, and I don't even really know why, except for that I think it's a little, I think it's my higher power just smiling at me while I haphazardly work my way through this and have fun along the way. And I think that he is delighted with my silliness. And it's just so much fun. I can't explain it, but I understand that, joy in the act itself, even if I don't see the results of this podcast. And I hope that there are things that happen for many, many people, but I may not ever know, and that's okay. And so talking about how unnatural your old way of life was, I just think it's so interesting. All this stuff just makes you really reflect. And I just, I think of high school me, and the first word that comes to mind is clammy, just really uncomfortable, stiff, uncomfortable, my breathing gets shallow because I was just so uncomfortable in my own skin. And I think it's because I was living this unnatural life. I didn't know how to be me. And so I was being what I thought I should be. And that was suffocating. And I didn't even have the motivation to be anything else because I didn't know that I was anything else. And so, I mean, talk about gratitude from your mess. Like, if I hadn't gone off the deep end and developed an eating disorder and had to land in Overeaters Anonymous, sexiest name on the planet, um, I never would have gotten to find me, you know, the me that I see and I'm like, I like you. I like when you're like this because you're you. Like, it's such a relief. And I know that other people who are very close to me are like seeing that too and love it too. And it, in a way, it like blesses them as well. Just like our disease has that ripple effect and can ricochet and cause damage, when we become more who we are, that spills over too. And that blesses people too. And it almost like is a living amends for the way your life affected them before. And so there's just a lot of gratitude there. And this part about is actually becoming increasingly easier for me to reach out to people in recovery. It was really funny. The first time I volunteered to stay after a meeting to share the program with a newcomer, I remember when I was that newcomer, the program was being shared with, and I kind of always had this, imposter syndrome feeling of like, I haven't learned enough to share. What would I have to say? Or like, there's other people in this room that would do a heck of a lot better job than me. And for whatever reason, I don't know if there weren't that many people there that day or what, but I volunteered to stay after. And what surprised me, what made me kind of laugh a little bit was I couldn't shut up about how cool how cool 12 steps was, how much it did for me, how fascinated I was by it, how I was just going on and on and on and on, and I was just like, oh my goodness, like I didn't even know how much I was in love with this program until I was spilling it all over this poor newcomer. God bless her soul. I hope she kept coming back. But it was a gift, so that, service is its own reward kind of thing. But it was a gift to hear myself like babbling on and on about how much I loved OA. And that was not something I had ever thought to do. It was not something I felt qualified to do or comfortable doing. And now here I am doing this today, sharing with you. And so I just want you to see that there's a progression there. And so wherever you are, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. And there don't put a limit to where you can go. And you don't have to figure it out today. And you don't have to know what that is, but just know that there's something beyond where you are today. And I can even say that for me today, where I am. I don't know what it is. I don't even care to daydream about it. But it just keep going back to this thing that Bishop Barron said from Word on Fire, for those of you who don't know who he is. He is he's on the public forums a lot. And he said, like, someone asked him, how did you get to where you are today? And this really stuck with me. And I think it's beautiful. And I think I'm trying to embrace it as best I can in my own way, in my own life. And he said, whatever kept coming, he just like would get on the horse and ride it. And he'd ride the horse until another horse came along. He was like, okay, time to dismount that one and get on this one. Now we're going to ride the horse. And like, basically, you're just going to give it your all. And that kind of came to me in prayer yesterday. And it was like, how do you want to be thought of, like, at the end of your life? Like, what do you want to be remembered for? And yeah, I was at a continuing education class. But then I was praying about it after, when they asked that question at the class, and then I was praying about it after, and it hit me. I was like, it was kind of that. It was, I want to be known as whatever I was doing. I gave it my all. I don't have a specific goal or a specific thing that I want to accomplish. Not right now, not necessarily. There's things I desire, but there's not something that like I want to be remembered for when I'm dead, other than whatever it was that I was doing. I gave it my all, and whatever ended up on my plate in life, I gave it my all. And I wish the same for you. With that, I pass. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If you feel that mindset coaching could help you on your 12-step journey, please feel free to reach out and find me at catholicmindsetcoaching.com. But more than that, it's important to me to give listeners like yourself a place where you do not need to feel alone on your 12-step journey. And for that reason, I've created a Facebook group. It's called Grateful Blessed Mess. And it's a place where listeners can go to add their own commentary on the share for the day, in addition to my own, and for us just to have a conversation or start a back and forth where people can find support in their 12-step journey. This is not a replacement for 12-step work. This is something outside of the 12 steps. It is simply something that has a heart for the 12 steps and those who are in it. And so, welcome. If you are here, chances are you may also be a bit of a mess. And I hope that you can learn to find some gratitude in the blessings that have come from your messes.